After having some good success with Tank Deadpool in Celestial Eternity lobbies, I think I figured out the best way to play him for maximum potential. So in this video I'll be going over what are the best upgrades to get for Tank Deadpool, the general game plan and some gameplay examples so you can learn how to carry your games with Tank Deadpool no matter your elo. First things first, let's talk about upgrades because they are specific for Tank Deadpool, and the way you get your upgrades matters a lot because you need them in order to actually be effective and efficient. Now, the first upgrade I like to get is the Sword Dash, because if you don't get it, you will only have one dash of your sword. Now, this is bad because if you use the Sword Ultimate, which you should because it's the best ultimate, with only one dash, you won't have enough dashes to activate the big ultimate, which means you will have to jump on an enemy's head, and that's not very easy to do. So that is why this is the first upgrade I will get, because now with this one, it will allow me to stack my ultimate just with my dashes, because now you get 6 of them. So you can get your big ultimate with this. The next upgrade I like to get is the 5, which is for your secondary ability. Now, the reason I like to get this ultimate is because without the upgrade, you take full damage. However, if you get the upgrade for this ability, now it gives you 40% damage reduction, which is huge for a tank like Deadpool, because with your sword ultimate, you will be going in, right? You'll be going in melee range, attacking people, going very deep on the enemy backline, and you need this damage reduction in order for you to not die instantly. As well as, because you are a tank, it will just make you more tanky in general, so you can hold space and not get destroyed instantly. Moving on, the next upgrade I want to get is for the Sword Ultimate, because this is the ultimate that you will be using in 95% of the cases in the game. Now, the upgrade, what it does is, it just overall gives you more healing over time, more bonus HP, and if you manage to complete it, you now get also bonus HP when you attack enemies. So it will make you tankier, it will make you more sticky to the enemies because they can't kill you, and it will just make you a very strong tank. So that's why I like to get the upgrade for the ultimate. Moving on, the fourth upgrade is for the katanas, because once again, when you will be using the sword ultimate, you will be going in on their backline or just in general attacking with your sword. And the sword upgrade gives you more sword attack speed and more sword damage. So it's just an overall damage increase, which you need in order to be a bigger threat and a bigger danger to the enemy backline and squishies. Moving on, I like to get the gun upgrade now, which will give you the little shit to your left. It doesn't do much, but what it does very well is it gives you a lot of ultimate charge, as well as a little bit of more damage per shots and 40 bullets. But what this is important for is, if you are in your building your ultimate phase, which you will be most of the game, you can very quickly build up your ultimate by shooting the enemy tanks, because the little shit, as you can see, gives you a lot of ultimate charge. So if the enemy tanks are stacked up, or if you're just shooting the little shit down the middle of the enemies, you will get a lot of ultimate charge, and you can get, as you can see, your ultimate insanely quickly, which is essential to the game plan for Deadpool. Moving on, I like to get the shield upgrade so that it just gives you a bit more shield. It goes from 300 to 400 HP, and just better for blocking damage, so it's just a nice shield upgrade. And lastly, the upgrade for the gun ultimate. I get this upgrade the last because, like I said, most of the game you will be using just the sword ultimate because it's just better and it allows you to go in and do more damage and distract the enemy backline and apply pressure, whereas the gun ultimate is single target, and while it can do some damage, it doesn't do enough damage for it to matter. It can just be very easily healed off by the enemy supports, and so it's just not really good. So that's why I get the last upgrade for the gun ultimate. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about the game plan. So the way you play Tank Deadpool is a bit more unique compared to the other characters. Now, at the start of the game, you will get 0 upgrades, 0 ultimate charge, and so the first step of playing Tank Deadpool is to farm your ultimate and farm upgrades. And you do that by just shooting the enemy tanks with your secondary upgrade, also using the bubble to protect yourself, and just trying to shoot enemy tanks so you get ultimate charge and upgrade. You can't really do much else other than this because you are very weak at the start of the game, so the best course of action is just to try and play him kind of like Magneto, because you are a ranged tank. So trying to play at a bit of a distance, maybe holding around the corner and just shooting the enemy tanks so you can farm your ultimate and your upgrades. Even using the bubble to get more damage in so you can be safer. Now, once you get your ultimate, you have two choices. You got choice number one, which is just go in right now, and you could do that with your ultimate. However, without an upgrade, like I mentioned earlier, you will not have the second dash for the sword, and so it will be very difficult for getting your ultimate activated. However, because you are going in with your ultimate, you will deal damage, and so it is possible to get your upgrade and level up during your ultimate. And so if you upgrade your dash during your ultimate, it resets the cooldown, and so you can activate the ultimate just by getting an upgrade. However, that is risky because it means you will have to, pull out your upgrade book and upgrade the ability in the middle of the entire enemy team. So that is why it's a bit more risky. And so that is why you have option 2 is just wait a bit more, get your upgrade, get your dash, and then go in with your ultimate. So let's see what I do here. I'm also very low HP, and so a very important thing on Deadpool is if you die, you lose all of your ultimate. So you cannot die as a tank. As a Tank Deadpool, you need to stay alive and try to use your ultimate as quickly as you have it, because if you die, you lose it. So might as well just go ahead and use it. You kind of have to treat it like a cooldown, not a true ultimate in that sense. So here, as you can see, I'm half HP. I'm waiting to get healed. It does look like I go for the option number 1, which is go in with my ultimate and upgrade inside my ultimate. So you see, I just go in, I get my upgrade. Now I try to go a little bit safe. I'm upgrading my dash. And now I go in and activate my big ultimate while getting a lot of attention from the enemy backline. So this is more or less the game plan for your ultimate. So let's watch that again. So the idea behind your sword ultimate is that you will gain a lot of bonus HP, healing per second, and so you will be very difficult to kill unless you just completely troll. What this means is that you can just go on the enemy backline, make the entire enemy team look at you. So you will be a very big annoying distraction. Yes, this is Deadpool's play idea more or less as a tank. You are a big annoying distraction that the enemy team must address in some way. And so as you can see, when I pop my ultimate, look at all of the space that I'm creating for my team. All of the enemies are looking at me, they are being distracted. I get all of their attention, which is how my Bucky gets an insane hook on the enemies. He actually hooked 3 people, which is insane. Then that was because I grabbed their attention. Now I am still keeping the attention of the enemy backline on me. So as you can see, I am just on their backline. I get my upgrade, so I go a little bit safe so I can get the upgrade. Now I got the upgrade, I can activate my bigger ultimate. And so I keep going on their backline and getting their attention, applying pressure, going in, getting a nice kill, and just keeping up the momentum here. So all of this happened because I used my ultimate very quickly, get their attention, go in, apply pressure on the enemy backline, make them look at you, distract them, and force them to go back, which is how you get space for your team as Tank Deadpool. Now we are in the secondary phase of Tank Deadpool, which is when your ultimate is on cooldown. Once your ultimate is on cooldown, you gotta play a bit more chill, a bit more relaxed, because when it's on cooldown, you cannot get ultimate charge. And so you will try to play safer, maybe peek here and there, kind of like a Magneto. Like once again, you don't really want to go in too much unless the enemy teams are dying like this, but you just want to chill, take it slow, wait for your cooldown to come back, and then you can once again go into the step 1, which is farm ultimate charge. Anyways, you can now treat the new fight just like from the beginning. So we are in the building ultimate phase, which means once again your job is to shoot enemy tanks, get your ultimate, even use your secondary ability for more attack speed so you can get even more ultimate charge. And while not having your ultimate, you just gotta chill a little bit. As you can see, I'm not really going in too much. I'm just sitting there, shooting a little bit. I get Strange ulted, it's fine. Try to peel for the Strange, because he's very deep. And once again, of course, get a selfie for the more upgrades. Now, enemy team has used Invis ultimate, so there is no need for me to go in here. There's no need for me to do anything. Just wait it out. Just be patient. I almost got my ultimate, so I don't want to die. And so, wait out for my ultimate, farm it out, and use it. Don't think I'll use it here because this fight is basically already won. Okay, now I have my ultimate once again, and I will try to use it on the enemies to get their attention. One thing to note about this ultimate is that it kind of works like, in a sense, like Iron Fist ultimate, let's say, whereas you kind of need your team to be somewhere in the area to help you and take advantage of the space that you're making. If you go in 1v6 with this ultimate, you're most likely going to die. So you do need to check around and see if your team is around you, because then they can take advantage of the distraction and attention you're gathering for them. So the reason I'm not going in with my ultimate here is because enemies are not that close. My team is a bit far away, so I'm being patient and waiting for my team to walk up. And then I'll go like here, right? All the enemies are together. My team is in the vicinity. And so I just go in with my ultimate and start creating attention. Now, one thing to note about your ultimate, especially with the upgraded E, with your upgraded secondary ability, is that in the pre-activation phase of your ultimate, the healing you get is a bit less. And so if I see myself take too much damage, I will use the secondary ability for the damage reduction, as we discussed in the upgrades, because it will allow you to just not die. After you activate your ultimate, you get a lot more healing, a lot more bonus HP, and so you won't need the damage reduction as much. However, the ability also gives you attack speed, so that is good for maybe keeping up the pressure. So it is up to you to decide if you want to use the secondary ability before you activate the ultimate for the damage reduction so you don't die, or after you activate the ultimate for the attack speed. It depends on the game. Most of the time I use it before, so I just don't die. But as you can see, once again, once I activate my ultimate, I am just on the enemy backline as much as possible. That is the goal here. You use the ultimate, which makes you very hard to kill, to just apply pressure on the enemy backline, get their attention, and so on. And then, of course, once the ultimate is on cooldown, just chill, shoot some stuff, but don't do anything too fancy because you won't really have the capability to do so. Lastly, I want to showcase a very good way to try and think about your ultimate, as in gathering attention. If you can, you should try to go from the enemies from behind, because look at this. If I go from behind them, what does this do? This makes all of the enemies turn around and look at me behind them, which means they have their backs turned to my team, which means my team is free to take the space to shoot them in the back, and so I'm gaining a lot of space for my team, applying a lot of pressure on the enemies. So as you can see, in this case, I force an Invis ultimate just by doing this, which is a very good trade because Deadpool ultimate, you get it so quickly. Support ultimates are very strong, so forcing it is very good. As well as, if I do this, I can just not die. As you can see here, I'm very hard to kill. And another important thing to note is, if you take damage, you need to back away. Use the bubble to block the strange ultimate as well. And now just keep up the pressure as much as we can with what we got left. We force the Invis ultimate, which means the enemy team is at a disadvantage. And so now we just clean up and win the game and the fight. So that is what I have found to be the best way to play Tank Deadpool. So once again, to recap, you gotta think about him like stage 1 is farming, farm ultimate, farm upgrades, and then stage 2 is going in, applying pressure, getting their attention, taking space for your team, and then phase 3, when your ultimate is on cooldown, is just chill and don't do anything too fancy, try not to die. So there you go. This is how you play Tank Deadpool and carry as much as possible. However, putting all of this to work is not as easy as it looks in this video, so if you want to see some more examples of how to use Tankpool effectively, I will be playing it on my stream at twitch.tv/kozasar, so come hang out if you want to learn more about Tank Deadpool or the game or just Deadpool in general. Thanks for watching, now go get some wins with Tank Deadpool.